Welcome everyone to Planet of NY Sports. Here we talk Yankees, Mets, Giants, Jets, and a little bit of the Knicks and Nets. So, I have a question for Rodrick and all Met fans out there. What in the world is going on with the Mets and Pete Alonso? Rodrick, go ahead. Just take it away. Just go ahead.
All right. Pete Alonso, number 20 in the New York Mets. First baseman, slugger, perennial 40 plus home run hitter, homegrown talent, been with the team his whole career. And he's due for a big extension. And he's been doing a big extension for a while now. And the team has known about it. And they haven't done much to really address the situation. New Mets president of baseball operations, not David Stearns. Wait, no, that's his name, David Stearns. Well, has said that he doesn't believe that an extension will be done until the upcoming off season after this season ends. And as a fan, to hear that is just it's very concerning because we were promised these riches by Steve Cohen that he's gonna bring us a World Series title in 5 years and we're gonna be perennial contenders and this and that. It's been 4 years. You got one playoff win, only one. And when you had the richest owner in baseball with a homegrown talent like Pete Alonso, and he's due for a big extension, and we're not hearing any real positive news on that front, it's concerning. And we're gonna get to it here in a second. But Russell, what are your thoughts on the whole Pete Alonso situation with this contract and everything that's going on revolving him right now?
Okay. So just before I get into because I have reasons why they should re-sign him before blah blah blah, but just on the outside looking in, just unfiltered, I I've been saying this to Rodrick for a while now, for weeks, probably for 2 months now. Even as a Yankee fan, I'm a Yankee fan. Let me preface this. Obviously, both of us probably have natural biases towards each other, right? Okay. But when we're talking about a guy like Pete Alonso, who is dare I say, I don't even think it's an argument. He's the face of the Mets. He's the face of the Mets. He is the face. I know Lindor is the best player probably, but to me, when I think of the Mets right now, and I think of the guy, that real homegrown guy, it's Pete Alonso. It's Pete Alonso. And I cannot see him anywhere else because Roderick and I were discussing before the video. We were like, okay, let's just say if he were to walk, where else could he go? There's not a lot of options. There really is not. This just does not make sense to me why there hasn't been a deal done already, especially when the price is going to go up. We'll talk about that all later, but I don't know what Stearns is doing. We were discussing it before. Cohen, look, I think it has to be said here. The whole Cohen thing has been I don't want to say bit, but I think it's been a disappointment for some Met fans. And like Rodrick already said, all of this amounting to one playoff win. One playoff win, where last year you had to be sellers at the trade deadline, coming into last year where you thought that you could actually, okay, we're going to lick our wounds from the Padres series. All right, we're going to bounce back. Let's go out and get Justin Verlander. They did that, and then they had to sell at the trade deadline. That is bad baseball. Bad baseball operations. I don't know what is going on with the New York Mets. Now, Rodrick, I don't even think we have to do this, but just I'll give some reasons too. But what are some reasons why the Mets should focus on trying to re-sign him before he hits free agency?
Well, I'll give you three. Just from a fan standpoint, I mean, like we talked about, he's a homegrown player. Um, he's been with the team. He broke records with his team. He took the team to the first playoff berth since 2016. Like, he's a perennial 100 RBI. He's gonna give you about a 240 average with about 40 plus bombs. So it's like that's a guy you don't like. That's a superstar player, and especially that's my first and second reason being, look at that Mets lineup. Most of their power is coming from Alonso. Like, guys like Lindor and Nimmo and guys like that, it can give you some pop, but Alonso's a different kind of power hitter, right? Or different kind of hitter, not power hitter. He's a power hitter. You know what I'm trying to say. So like to lose him would leave a massive hole in your lineup, which you're not gonna be able to fill. I really don't see how they could fill that. And then the third reason being is this quote that Dale Strawberry said. He said that if Pete Alonso stays with the Mets his whole career, he's gonna end up leading the team in all-time home runs. So like again, that goes back to the homegrown point where it's just like you gotta keep this guy, and especially when you have the richest owner in baseball, we know money's not an issue. So what's the holdup? And that's the question I've been having to ask myself, and that's the question I've been getting asked by freaking teachers and students alike. Like, what are they thinking there? And I couldn't tell you right now. I'm being honest, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. And yeah, like what you've said before, like, what are they doing? And this isn't just for Pete Alonso too. It is for, multiple guys, like throughout free agency. We were discussing, like, well, obviously we'll tease this, because we'll have like a whole total MLB offseason video for both teams. But the Mets this offseason, besides them, their bullpen is looking pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. But the rest of the team, the offense, don't get me wrong, it's not bad. Could it have used some more improvement? Yeah. The starting pitching is where it really gets like, what are we doing here? Luis Severino. But we'll get into that with another video. This is just Alonso. So just looking at it right now and just talking about the richest owner in baseball, I wanted to bring up one reason why they should try to sign him now, and that reason I'm going to point to Aaron Judge. Look at what happened with Aaron Judge. So obviously the Yankees offered him a certain type of contract before his MVP season, right? So then obviously he goes on to break the AL home run record, and obviously that cost way, 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 way more money than expected. And that is something that could potentially happen here. It really could. Because let's just say, Rodrick, what would you be willing to do right now for Pete Alonso?
I believe he's 27, 28. I want to say I would give him a 8 to 10 year deal around $330 million. I don't know if that's insane, but that's what I would do.
Okay. Now let's just say, okay, and he's 29, by the way, but let's just say he goes out there and somehow breaks either the home run record, wins an MVP, does something like that. How much do you think that's going to increase by now?
You're looking. He's a Scott Boras client, which you have to consider too. You're looking at a high 300s, maybe even low 400s, and with the going rate of MLB players, especially when you have a guy like Cohen who's out here handing out checks, it's like they're gonna get greedy because obviously the agent is gonna try to get the most for his player. But like, I mean, yeah,
Okay.
I don't know how they would approach that. I really don't. I hope they would do the right thing in the end by extending him, and I think that obviously within reason they should do it no matter what. But it's like I don't know how Stern feels about Alonso in terms of putting putting dollars to commit it to him. So yeah.
Yeah, I really just don't understand it in terms of the money, and I already gave you the he's the face of the franchise pretty much at this point, and then I guess my last reason would be is where are you going to find that production now that you're getting from Alonso? Where are you going to find that? How are you going to replace that? Do you have a plan in place to replace that if he does walk? Because like Rodrick said, he's a Scott Boras client. He's going to take the highest offer. And yeah, I know Cohen has the most money in baseball, but I mean, as of late, that hasn't really meant too much. It really hasn't. A team like the Dodgers, well, even though I don't see him fitting in with the Dodgers, Roger was saying it to me, oh, if he signs with the Dodgers, well, just a team in general just goes and offers him way more because let's just say he had a really good year, finishes like top 3 in the MVP race. Let's just say something like that happens. Where are you going to replace this production? Where? Do you have somebody in the minors? Roger, can you tell me? Is there a plan? Do you think the Mets have a plan in place if this were to happen?
We do have in my opinion, a top 10 farm system. You got guys like Drew Gilbert, Luis Angel Acuna, guys like that. In terms of first baseman, you have a guy named Ryan Clifford, but even if these guys become what they're expected, because they're not top prospects, they're really good. They're not like top 10 prospects. They're not gonna give you the production Alonso's gonna give. Like you don't just find that in the farm system down in Syracuse or whatever. Like this is special talent, and you got to keep them around.
Yeah, and and I say this, I've been saying this since our first video, going back with the Yankees. Prospects are no guaranteed thing. They are not. They are lottery tickets. Lottery tickets. You cannot bank on a prospect coming in and possibly replacing production. Now, let's just say if there's somebody in free agency that they think could be half of that, fine, but I still don't understand why, especially at this point where money should not be an issue. It should not be an issue. Scherzer and Verlander, are you still going to have to? Here, you can tell me this, Rodrick. Do you still have to worry about either of their contracts next off season?
Yes, for this upcoming season, but after that they're off the books.
Okay, so in that case, you can backload the contract, and it should not be an issue. I really don't. I don't see the issue
Yeah,
here.
like we know money is an issue. We assume the player himself isn't an issue. We know his talent in the field is there. So, like we've been saying this whole video, what really is the holdup? Like, why can't we do this now? Why do we have to wait till you know the next free period to open up for this to be able to get done? And I don't understand it, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, and just to pose the question here, is there anybody else in the league that you could see benefiting from picking up Pete Alonso?
Definitely, because it's Pete Alonso. But I mean, like we said, there's only so many teams that you can really go to. Like first base is one of those spots where like there isn't, there hasn't been many, many teams that are really in need for it. So it's like I don't know. Like we said, the Cubs. We said maybe the Giants if they are, thinking about competing. Maybe the Brewers. But I mean, he's gonna find a spot somewhere, whether it's here or somewhere else. But I hope for just for baseball's sake he stays in New York because I mean that's what Pete Alonso is. That's what Pete Alonso is. He's a New York Met. So yeah,
Yep, I wholeheartedly agree, even as a Yankee fan. Now, if you can all do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you think that Pete Alonso is going to walk after this year. Let me know how well do you think Pete Alonso is going to do, or could he drop off? I very much doubt it in a contract year. You know these guys are motivated, which is why I said they should try to sign him now. But whatever happens this year, whatever happens at this point for the Mets. Stearns, Rodrick, this isn't part of the MLB offseason video. I just want to just hear a quick little grade for how would you grade Stearns thus far, just
I
right now.
give him a C+ because of what he's done with the bullpen and he's given us some major league outfield depth. So I can't give him anything other than a C+. But in terms of getting a B, like you have to have done something, and he hasn't really made any big splashes, which is okay. But I'm not going to give you anything special for you know a very mid off season. To tell you the truth about it.
Yep. Roderick said it all. Let's just keep the Mets fans in our thoughts. Hopefully, they could at least finish in third place this year. Maybe they could be a nice scrappy team. Some guys could have some bounce back years. I will be rooting for a guy like Severino. But we'll get into all that offseason stuff later when the offseason is completely finished. So if you can all do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you all in the next video.